Hi guys, can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi, sorry, something happened with my camera. I don't know why it doesn't want to go on. Just give me a second. Something happened.
I reset the setting.
Yeah, I actually had a class literally 5 minutes before I came here. So let me just see,
You must be
probably
exhausted.
must be. Yeah, I agree. Let me just try
Yeah.
to. Well, it's a weird thing. I don't know. Does anyone, until I actually managed to do here, let me ask some questions. Does anyone from you actually believes in astrology?
Me.
Okay, perfect. Why do you believe in astrology?
Because it seems interesting.
Okay. Have you ever, I think I managed to, yes, perfect, I'm here. Have you ever done a natal chart? Do you know what is a natal chart?
No.
What?
No. Okay. We Guys, I just want each one of you to please turn their cameras on, please. Well, this is a different software that I'm using. You see underneath it says MenuCam. I don't know why my camera doesn't want to go on like the regular one. Strange, probably because I use a lot of different platforms and different softwares for my camera. I think it's fine. You can see me. That's the good thing. I just need to swap it so it will be a bit more accurate. Okay. Good. So according to astrology, I actually listened to it this morning and it said in the last, well, starting from yesterday, today, tomorrow, up till Monday, people will have problem with their internet connection. Seems to me I didn't have any problems with my internet so far. I hope it's not going to happen though. But I did have problem with my camera. So let's see if that's actually accurate. But okay, that's interesting. Maybe we can start the class with that. Just before that, I just need to check, guys, your attendance, and we're going to start right away. We're going to have a lot of chatting today. So get ready. Cindy, are you here? Yes, you are. How are you? Judy, is your microphone working? Cindy, can you hear me? Okay. Well, something is not right though. Oh, okay. Good. How are you today? Cindy, can you hear me clearly?
It's a little bit lag.
Okay. Cindy, I'm having problems with hearing you. It's actually, I feel like there is a lag, and on top of it, it's like, it's not a clear sound. I hope we can fix that as well. Okay. All right, that's fine. You're here for now. That's a good thing to know. Yuling, hi. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Okay, hold on. I have Ruying, which is Ezra. Was it Ezra?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And we also have, is it Juling? Do I say Juling?
It's Yuling.
Yuling. Okay. Sorry, sweetie, about that. Okay. So I'm just going to mark it over here. You don't want to see my notes, how I actually write how to say your names. I'm trying my best. I really am. Okay, cool.
Pronounced in Chinese.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, you see, that's ironic. I've been working with Asian students for about
Half
4
a year?
years now.
Oh, 4 years.
Only, yeah, roughly 4 years now, but just Asian students, nothing else apart from Asia.
What
I
if
still
you
don't
had a
know.
name with a complicated name that you cannot pronounce? What
To
if?
be fair, yes, most of the students, they actually have English names as well. So I wasn't challenged enough to learn all those names. But some students, they stick to their names and that is completely fine, no problem. Yuling, how are you today?
I'm fine.
Awesome. Do you believe in astrology?
Yes.
Yes. Do you know what is your sun sign? So I know that in China you have Chinese signs. Like in Asia you have Chinese sign, and I think mine was ox.
Oh, you
When
mean
it comes
zodiac,
to
is it? Zodiac.
the zodiac, yes, it's also called the sun sign. Okay, zodiac. Do you know what's your zodiac?
Chicken.
That's
Chicken.
in Chinese.
In Chinese, we call it Ji.
Okay, but that's in Chinese astrology, not in the Western one that we call that it's international, right? Okay, we'll explain that. Yuling, do you know what is your zodiac?
No.
No, you don't. Okay, well, we're going to figure that out today. I didn't plan this, but we're just going to go with it. Okay, thank you for that. Ezra, how are you today?
I'm good.
Good. Do you believe in astrology?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know your sun sign?
And a mouse.
Oh, okay, that's in Chinese. But how about these ones in the Western astrology? Like we have Pisces, Gemini, Cancer,
Aquarius.
Aquarius. Okay, so does that mean that you were born end of July, end of January, beginning of February?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome.
Okay. Awesome, that's good. Evelyn, is Evelyn here?
Yeah,
Yeah, oh good, you're here. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Do you believe in astrology? Or you don't?
Yeah,
Yes, okay. Do you know what is your sun sign?
I don't know.
Found out my
You
sign,
don't.
sign is Germany. Just research it.
Oh, Gemini. You
Yeah,
search for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to share a picture with you so you're going to find what is your sun sign. And I'll explain why is it called a sun sign. Okay. June, you said you were a Gemini. Do you believe in astrology?
Well, in scientific, yes.
Okay. So do you think that astrology has been scientifically proved?
Well, based, yeah, I guess.
Okay. All right.
Distance
Good.
between stars estimated like years. The distance between far Earth.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Vanessa, how about you? Do you believe in astrology?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what is your sun sign?
In Chinese, chicken.
And in the Western one, you don't know.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
When is your birthday?
Taurus, Taurus.
Oh, Taurus. Okay. So you're Taurus.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. Okay, let's share that. I will show you. I will write them down. Actually, I was a big fan of astrology. I would say for about 2-3 years, and I was really, really focused on it. I was reading about all those houses. The problem is, the more you need to, you don't have to, right? It's a choice of yours. The more you start searching informations in astrology, the more questions you have. And I said, I'm done. I don't want to know more. It's getting exhausted and so on. Okay, so quickly, I'm just going to show you what could your sign actually be when it comes to Western astrology. So obviously within the Chinese astrology, it's a bit different because you have different kind of names. And in Chinese astrology, you have, and actually the sign is determined by the year you were born in. So that's completely different. But when it comes to Western astrology, which is the astrology that pretty much all around the world people are using, you can determine your sign according to your date of birth. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Let me just put the picture over here. Okay, yeah, we can take this one. All right, so I'm putting this picture over here. I'm gonna make it bigger. Do not worry about it. Oh, but it's not clear enough. Okay, I'll have another one. Cool. So let's look at these ones. So when it comes to astrology, you can say zodiac. What's your zodiac? You can say what is your sun sign. Why does it say sun sign? Well, when you were born, the sign was in this, the sun, sorry, was in this particular sign. For example, my birthday is on the 20th of July, which comes next Tuesday. So I'm a Cancer. So the sun was actually in Cancer at that particular moment when I was born. So that's why I am a Cancer. So you can see over here, just find your date of birth. So the first one, the first zodiac is actually Aries. We call it Aries. That's the first one, even though it starts from March, right? So let's say within the Chinese New Year, it starts like February, like middle of February, or depends, each year changes. But our year starts from 1st of January till the 31st of December. Okay, that's a calendar year. But when it comes to astrology, an astrological year starts from the 21st of March, which is basically, I believe that should be the first day of spring, because you know we got 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, winter. 21st of March or the 22nd of March. Usually it doesn't change, but it actually changes within February, because February sometimes has 28 days, sometimes has 29 when it's a leap year. So that's why it changes. Either it's going to be 365 days or 64 or whatever it is. So the first sign is Aries. If you were born from March 21st until April the 20th, including that day. The second one is Taurus. I actually have a lot of friends with Taurus, so they're quite close to me. I find them very good, very genuine people. The next one, the next sign is Gemini. If you were born between May 21st and June, including June the 20th, then you were a Gemini. If you were born from the 21st of June until the 22nd of July, you were a Cancer. Funny thing about my birthday is actually I was supposed to be born on the 23rd of July, but my mom said it was so hot and she couldn't handle because it was like over 40 degrees. And she said, I just needed to take you out. So that's why I became Cancer. Next sign is Leo, starting from the July 23rd till August 22nd. Then it comes Virgo, August 23rd till September 22nd. After Virgo comes Libra, September 23rd, October 22nd. After Libra comes Scorpio. Also, it usually lasts for about a month. Then we have Sagittarius, which is end of November and until the 21st of December. After Sagittarius comes Capricorn, December 22nd till January the 19th. Aquarius, from January the 20th until February the 19th. And the last sign is Pisces. Also, within this astrology, we divide them into 4 groups. So we have water signs, which are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, 3 signs. Now I'm going to make a mistake with the other ones because, to be fair, I don't know them. Since I stopped doing the astrology thing, I really don't care as much.
Sun sign symbolize different personalities.
Sorry, sweetie, I didn't get that.
I mean, different sun sign determine different type of personality.
But yeah, basically, when it comes to astrology, you know, people oftentimes, this is in rest of the world, right? This is not about Chinese astrology because I don't know as much about Chinese astrology. What I do know is that now is my year when it comes to Chinese astrology. So basically started like, when was your New Year, the Chinese New Year? Was it end of February? I think so. Yeah, it was end of February. So basically until the next year, apparently, whatever we do in this year, it's going to be amazing. still not that many amazing things happen in the last couple of months, but we'll see how it goes the year. So each of these signs actually has specific characteristics about you or your personality. Let's say if you are an Aries, apparently they have beautiful souls. I don't know how accurate that is, to be fair, because I don't know many people in Aries. Now, the second sign, they say it's a trustworthy signs. The next one is, you're going to tell me if this actually makes sense for you, if you feel that you're that kind of person. Gemini, actually, it says to be an eye candy.
What do you mean by eye candy?
Someone who is very pretty to look at, I guess. Eye candy and beautiful. The next sign is Cancer, which is deep lovers, which means these particular people are all about love. And I agree with that, actually. When I do something, either I really, really love it or I really, really hate it. I don't have balance in between. So I'm either black or white. Next ones are the Leos, which apparently are adventurous. Virgos, apparently they are very loyal and funny. Libra. So Libra is the one who is on the scale. They always try to measure. They say that they are always there for you. Wow, this became an astrology class. Who would say? Okay, the next one we got Scorpio. Scorpio, actually, they say that it will make you feel amazing. Like they will like to praise you in a way. So I'm just gonna write makes you feel amazing. All right. The next one we got Sagittarius. They said about them they're super loyal. My brother is, but I don't know how loyal he is. He's actually a Sagittarius, so super loyal. All right. The next one is Capricorn. Capricorn seems to be loyal, but also very attractive. Capricorn? I don't know. I know a lot of Capricorns, but they're not that attractive. Okay, the next one is Aquarius. Okay, so for Aquarius, they say that they will make you laugh a lot. My mom is Aquarius and she doesn't actually fit in this, so I wouldn't agree with this. Okay, the next one is Pisces, and they say that this sign particularly is all about love and passion and loyalty. Obviously, these are just like one term that can be slightly connected with each of the sign. Obviously, if you want to, I can arrange a class about this maybe next week. So we're going to go a bit deeper in that if you want to, of course. If you don't want to, we don't have to do that. But that's going to be on you. So you're going to have to decide if you want to learn a bit more, practice a bit more, but also you're going to have to do your own research. So what do you think about this? Do you agree with some of the points? June, what do you think? Eye candy and beautiful.
I don't think so. I don't think I'm that eye candy. But
Okay, cool. Vanessa said she's Taurus. Vanessa, trustworthy. Are you trustworthy?
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe?
I don't know.
You're not. So if someone tells you a secret, are you going to keep it or are you going to spread it to everyone?
Keep it.
Keep it, good. So that means you're trustworthy. That's good. That's awesome. Good. Ezra, how about you? What was your sun sign? Zodiac.
Aquarius.
Oh yeah, Aquarius. Make you laugh a lot. Do you think that you were a funny, interesting person?
No.
No. You see, that's my mom also. She's very serious. Yeah, she is funny at a certain point, but it's not like as it is presented. Okay, good. How about Cindy, how about you? What is your sun sign? Zodiac. Sweetie, I think I'm gonna have problems with your microphone or connection. I don't know, something is not working right.
Taurus. Yeah, my
You're
connection
Taurus
is. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that you're a trustworthy person?
I think so.
Yeah. Good. You can find yourself there. All right, good. Evelyn, how about you? What is your zodiac?
Cancer.
You're like me. Cool. Do you think that we are all about the love and either we love it or we hate it?
Maybe
What is your birthday?
29 June.
Ah, so you had a birthday. Okay, good. Perfect, good. Okay. Ling, how about you?
Taurus.
You're Taurus as well. Wow, so many Taurus today. Perfect. Do you think that you are trustworthy?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Funny thing, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 friends, Taurus. Only one of them is trustworthy. The other ones, if you tell them, the whole world will know. So don't tell them anything. Keep your secrets. Keep your secrets safe with you because it's going to be horrendous after that. Okay, guys, perfect. I love the start of the lesson. One question. Do you want me to prepare a special lesson about astrology or no?
Sure.
Sure. All right, good. Maybe I will arrange that for next week because this week I actually want to talk more about languages. So I'm going to ask you, do you know how many languages are in the world?
More than 50.
Definitely more than 50, but how many do you think are there?
More than 100.
More than 100, okay. So my second question would be, what language is the most spoken language in the world?
English?
English? Why do you think English?
Because I heard a lot of countries, they teach English.
Okay. All right. Anybody else has a different opinion?
I guess Chinese, because
Chinese? Why?
Chinese is starting to dominate the whole world right now. Everyone's trying to learn Chinese because they want to work with them right now. Because Chinese, some says that Chinese will become #1 in the future
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
in China, not Chinese.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay. Another opinion? No? Okay. Let's go like this. The first and the most spoken language in the world is definitely Chinese. Let me share my screen.
So can you speak Chinese?
So, but why is that? Let's see why is that. Why is Chinese? It says 1.3 billion native speakers. What does that mean?
1.3 billion of native speakers mean
yeah.
Chinese, pure Chinese.
So this, you will have the answer to this question if you go back to geography. What is the largest continent in the world?
China.
Asia.
Continent.
Oh, Asia.
Yeah, perfect. So it's Asia. Asia is the largest continent in the world. That's why Chinese language is actually spoken 1.3 billion native speakers. Like Asia is massive, it's huge, it's very big. You have different countries. How many countries are in Asia? Do you know?
10, 11, I guess.
You don't know?
I didn't count them.
You didn't count them, but probably you studied about them. Yeah? Okay. So apparently there are 48 countries in Asia, according to the United Nation. I will write that down information for you here. So It's not going to be 8. So 48 countries in Asia. Okay. Europe has a bit less, but obviously the countries in Europe are slightly smaller. Not slightly, some of them are actually a lot smaller than that. Okay. The second language that is used in the world quite a lot is Spanish. 471 million native speakers. Give me a couple of countries where people speak Spanish.
Spain,
Okay, obviously. What else? So an interesting information would be that Spanish language is actually official language in about 20 countries, like Argentina, Spain, obviously, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Costa Rica, Mexico. I don't know, because there are 20, obviously, I don't know all of them. I have to check that information. But yes, the second language that is actually spoken quite a lot, it is Spanish language. So look at this. Number 3 belongs to English language. 370 million native speakers. So let's see which countries speak English as a native language.
England, obviously.
Obviously. Sorry, sweetie, what did you say?
America.
America. Okay, the American continent. All right.
Germany.
Germany. Okay, but in Germany, their native language is German, so English will be a foreign language. But a couple of countries in the world, they actually have at least 2 languages as their native languages. Why is that? Because a lot of people many centuries ago move into that country so they can speak 2 languages at the same time, because the government
For example,
uses both
such
of the
as
languages. Which one?
Malaysia.
Malaysia. Okay. What languages are spoken in Malaysia?
Most of them are English and Malay. Yeah, true.
Do you have 2 official languages?
Well, according to history, well, because the land of Malay is conquered by British before, which is why we should learn English.
Okay. So yeah, a couple of countries, well, not a couple of, I don't know exactly how many countries in the world, but they do have more than one official language. What is an official language? The language we use to study on TV, the news, the government. So that is an official language. So 67 countries in the world use English as official language. So 60 countries in the world actually use English as official language. Does that make them native speakers? What do you think? Vanessa, what do you think? If English is an official language in the country, does that mean that you're going to be native speaker?
Yeah. Yes,
Yes. Why do you think so?
because they have to speak in that language.
Okay. But what is the difference, guys? Let's ask this question. What's the difference between native and non-native? So I'm just going to make this bigger. So I'm going to write. So native / non-native speaker. What is the difference? No idea at all? Come on, it's easy.
Well, native, I know the meanings, but I don't know how to define it and express it.
Okay. Anybody else has an idea? Native and non-native.
Well, we know that non-native like foreigners.
Foreigners, okay. So how can we give a definition about a native speaker?
A person born in a specified place.
Okay, okay, good. But if I'm born in, let's make a story. Let's make a scenario. Imagine I'm born in New York, right? I was just born there. My parents were there. I got born there. But then they moved to Germany. So I speak English, but I went to school in Germany. Does that make me a native speaker or no?
No.
Yes.
Ah, we have two answers, no and yes. Okay, let's explain this. So a native person would be, for example, a proper English person. Let's talk about England, okay? Because I'm here, I know things more than in America, obviously. So a native speaker born in England, their father is English, their mother is English, they've been born here, raised here, went to school here, they speak English. So they are native speakers. Now, another scenario. I'm not English, okay? So my origins actually come from a small country in Europe, but I live in England. And I've been living here for the last 5 years, simultaneously pretty much. So I've been here all the time, but yes, I do travel to different places as well. But the last 5 years, I've been based here and I haven't moved out. Obviously, I don't know how I'm going to stay here, but for now I'm here. So I'm not a native speaker, right? Because my first language is not English. What does that mean? I was born in Macedonia. I went to school in Macedonia. I studied there. I lived there for a lot of years during my lifespan. And then I lived in other countries because I lived in a different countries in Europe. But then at the end, I came in the UK. Now, I speak the language as a native person, maybe even better. And I'll explain in a second that why. So I am a non-native English speaker, non-native, which means I've learned the language, I mastered the language, I live in the country. You don't have to live in the country to be a non-native speaker. It only means that you know the language very, very well. So natives, they've been born, raised, studied pretty much all their life. They've been kind of surrounded by this language. Non-natives, they haven't. Maybe they've learned 5 languages, 10 languages, but they haven't been raised working with that language for a specific amount of time or pretty much all their life. So that is a bit different. So if one language is an official in one country, not necessarily you're going to become native in that. Okay, why is that? Let's say if you are from Germany and you live in, let's say, which country should I choose? Austria. In Austria, they speak German. So if you go in Austria, obviously the official language will be German, but it's a different kind of German. It's not German from Germany. It's a weird policy, I swear. So if you go there and you speak, imagine that in Austria they speak English and German, right? You speak both of the languages. You've been born and raised with German because you lived in Germany, you studied there, you know the language very well. Now, if you go to Austria, you can use either English or German, like if you need to go deal with documents or you need to, I don't know, go to university or stuff like that. Those languages will be available for you, but that doesn't mean that you are native in both of them. So let's say for you, you will be non-native English speakers, right? Because the first official language for you is whatever it is. Is it Malay or Chinese? It depends, you know, where you're from. For me, it's not going to be English as my native language. It's going to be non-native. So I am a non-native speaker. People, again, let's summarize this. People born in Canada, Australia, South Africa, England, Wales, like this area, United Kingdom, basically, and a couple of other countries. America, let's say, their official language is English. That means if they go somewhere, they must speak English. Are they natives? No. Maybe their origins come from Spain, Mexico, Uruguay. I don't know. They just live there. But if the parents are from Mexico, they go to New York and their kid was born there, go to school there, study, everything is there, then the person becomes native speaker. Irrelevant that the parents come from wherever from the world. Does that make any sense? If you speak one particular language all your life and that's your main language to function, that's your native language. If you learn another language just because you like it or you need it or you move to another country, you become a non-native speaker with the second language. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Yeah? Cool. All right, good. So language is number 3. The next language is actually Hindi. 342 million native speakers. Then it comes Arabic, and then it comes Portuguese, and obviously Bengali. I don't even know where that language is used, to be honest. But Portuguese, I know. So let's go with the first 5: Chinese, Spanish, English, Hindi, and Arabic. So I have a question for you. Why does everybody study English then? Because previously someone mentioned, I think it was Ezra, that said a lot of countries study English. I would say every country in the world study English, but why? Why not Chinese?
Because before the China is starting to dominate the world, because they say that English is international language.
Good, perfect. Okay. So does that mean that English is the easiest language to learn from all of this? Chinese, Spanish, English, Hindi, Arabic, Portuguese, Bengali, and so on. Is it the easiest?
Based on the word structure, like grammar, everything, vocab, how hard is it?
Okay. Does anybody else has a different idea? Something that you think why maybe English became a global or international language? No? Okay, so there is a slightly political story behind all of this. So basically, the British Empire, like 3 centuries ago, I would say, like in the 17th century or maybe 18th, they were spreading around, right? So they were having a lot of colonies and dominance towards different countries. So this is how actually became English used in different countries in the world. So they move, they have like, they spread pretty much all around the world, I would say. Well, not that sure about Asia though, but rest of the world, yes. So that's why English, for example, the Queen, our Queen of UK, she goes to Australia. She got some colonies over there in Australia, also in Canada. She doesn't need a passport because that's her kingdom. She can go there anytime she wants to. No one will stop her because she doesn't own the place, but she's basically the queen of that place as well. So basically, there's a political story behind all of this because they spread all around. And, people started using the language and then they kind of invested in that. That makes sense. So they were learning it to communicate, to transport, export, import, and all that stuff. That's why actually it became as popular language. Good, good. Now, let's talk about the new words that pretty much every language has invented. How do you think that the new words are being created? Who invents those words?
Scholars.
Okay. Yeah, nowadays, especially with these bloggers and YouTubers, they invent words because it's easy for them to make a slang. But why do they do that? Like, can you really invent the word? Is that possible?
Unless you are good at languages.
So does that mean that whoever wants, they can create a new word? They can invent a new language?
It's created by accident or not officially.
Okay. All right, that's interesting to know. Okay, but we're gonna learn now for fact. Do you know what is well, I think you know. I think when we had the classes before, I used a TED Talk. Do you remember that I had a class with you with TED Talk? That was before you actually started teaching. Never mind, it's irrelevant. But TED Talk is actually, or TED ED is actually very useful because what they do is they research the facts. So it's not just a video you're going to watch or a person talking about it. They actually do the research, which is a good thing. So it's ready for us. But we're going to watch a video about where do new words come from. And after that, yeah, you're going to have some speaking. And I'm just thinking if I should give you a break in between, but let's see how it goes. Let's just watch this. Let me put the sound on. All right. So again, you know the drill. We have 10 questions. Just focus on it. Read it carefully if it's written, or just pay attention to details because you can't possibly know what kind of question there will be. Let's see.
Every year, about 1,000 new words are added to the Oxford English Dictionary. Where do they come from, and how do they make it into our everyday lives?
All right. First question, Vanessa.
Yes.
Okay, guys, we're not going to go yes and no. Okay, so we're going to practice reading full sentence and tell me the answer.
There are 1,000 new English words coined in the world every year. True.
True. There are 1,000 new English words coined in the world every year. He actually said that a lot of words are coming in. Let's just hear it again.
Every year, about 1,000 new words are added to the Oxford English Dictionary. Where do they come from, and how do they make it into our everyday lives?
Okay, so we already said this answer. Let's go to the next question. Oh, we have a description. There are thousands new English words added to the Oxford English Dictionary every year. We don't know how many new English words are coined every year, but way more than just 1,000. So it's way more just than 1,000. Okay.
Our everyday lives. With over 170,000 words currently in use in the English language, it might seem we already have plenty. Yet as our world changes, new ideas and inventions spring forth, and science progresses, our existing words leave gaps in what we want to express. And we fill those gaps in several ingenious, practical, and occasionally peculiar ways.
Okay, let's ask Ezra about the second one.
Do I have to read the question?
Yes, please.
Okay. According to the narrator, the reasons underlying the creation of new words are new inventions, new scientific findings, and new ideas, which cannot be expressed properly with existing words. True.
True. All right, let's see. Okay, good. That was a good one.
One way is to absorb a word from another language. English has borrowed so many words over its history that nearly half of its vocabulary comes directly from other languages.
Okay, the next one is for Cindy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Almost half of the words in the English language were borrowed directly from other languages, including Latin, French, Greek, and German. It's only their pronunciation that changes.
Changed. True or false?
Changed. True.
True. All right, let's see. So it is not just the pronunciation, it's basically the root. So they have the root, the basic from that particular language. Let's say if it's German, right? They keep it. It's not just the pronunciation, but it's completely the base, the root is the same, but then it's something added up. Okay, let's see what is next.
Sometimes this is simply because the thing the word describes was borrowed itself. Rome and France brought legal and religious concepts like altar and jury to medieval England, while trade brought crops and cuisine like Arabic coffee, Italian spaghetti, and Indian curry.
Okay, the next one is for June.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sometimes when new things are imported from another culture for the first time, for example, spaghetti from Italy or curry from India, their original name is also adopted. I would say true for this question.
All right, let's check it out. All right, cool. Well done.
Curry. But sometimes another language has just the right word for a complex idea or emotion, like naivete, machismo, or schadenfreude. Scientists also use classical languages to name new concepts. Clone, for example, was derived from the ancient Greek word for twig to describe creating a new plant from a piece of the old. And today, the process works both ways, with English lending words like software to languages all over the world.
Okay, cool. The next one is for you, Ling.
Words from Latin and Greek are often borrowed by scientists to describe new scientific concepts in English, such as cloning, but English words are also often borrowed by other languages. True.
True. All right, good.
Another popular way to fill a vocabulary gap is by combining existing words that each convey part of the new concept. This can be done by combining two whole words into a compound word, like airport or starfish, or by clipping and blending parts of words together, like spork, brunch, or...
Okay, good. Let's see, the next one is for Evelyn.
Yeah.
Let's read it, sweetie.
Internet is a compound word coined by combining the word interesting and net. True.
Sorry, sweetie, what did you say?
True.
True. Oh, it says false. The narrator doesn't explain these words particularly that are both combined to create the word internet. Just for the record, internet was formed from the words inter, meaning reciprocal, mutual, and network. Okay, good to know.
or internet. And unlike borrowings from other languages, these can often be understood the first time you hear them. And sometimes a new word isn't new at all. Obsolete words gain new life by adopting new meanings. Villain originally meant a peasant farmer, but in a twist of aristocratic snobbery, came to mean someone not bound by the knightly code of chivalry, and therefore a bad person.
Okay, good. The next one will be for Ezra.
Sometimes old words are endowed with receive a new meaning, but they're not new in the same sense as newly coined with word combos. True.
Okay, so sometimes old words are received with a new meaning, but they're not new in the same sense as newly coined word combos. All right, you say true. Okay, interesting. Sometimes new words aren't new at all. This can be taken to mean that an old word adopting a new meaning counts as a new word. But it's not entirely novel like originally word combos, since the word form is old. It's just the meaning that is new. Unfortunately, English language has a lot of confusing words. Even the natives struggle with them because obviously a lot of words are quite new. So not necessarily they have been used enough in practice. People haven't had the chance to use those words to create meaningful sentences. So sometimes even they struggle. So especially like if you check dictionaries like Oxford and Cambridge, and I personally, my favorite is Cambridge. Obviously, we're doing a Cambridge program as well, but also Cambridge is more accurate for me because Oxford is a bit, sometimes they do have like strange meanings, which doesn't really make any sense. So if you need to check a certain word, please use Cambridge Dictionary. I will share the link with you. Obviously, something that we use with other groups, but also it's a good dictionary, online
Oh, I
dictionary you
use
can
Google.
use. Don't use Google, please, because Google actually gets the informations from many dictionaries, but not all of them are accurate. So focus on one. Later, I will share this link and just you can bookmark it. And anytime when you struggle with a specific word, just gonna check that one. Much better, safer choice.
Bad person. A geek went from being a carnival performer to any strange person to a specific type of awkward genius.
Okay, the next one will be for, let's start with Vanessa again.
Today, a geek refers to an awkward genius. True.
Genius, okay, true. All right, cool. Vanessa, I actually have another student, which is, her name is also Vanessa So. Interesting enough. I just realized that when I saw your name.
What a coincidence.
And other times, words come to mean their opposite through irony, metaphor, or misuse. Like when sick or wicked are used to describe something literally amazing. But if words can be formed in all these ways, why do some become mainstream while others fall out of use or never catch on in the first place?
Okay, the next one will be for June. Let's go with you again.
Some new words never spread widely in the language community, while others are used for a while but then abandoned. New, not used anymore. Let's say false for this one.
Okay. Oops. The question, why do some words become mainstream while others fall out of use or never catch on in the first place? Implies that this phenomena occur. Fail out of use means to be no longer used. Catched on means become popular, widely used. This is what I said previously. There are a lot of words that are very confusing. So people do not know how to use them properly in a sentence. Sometimes they use them, but the sentence doesn't make any sense. And this is how they try to avoid them, not to use them. So that means that eventually that word will be removed from the dictionary. Well, there are some people that actually, that's their job, to just see what kind of vocabulary are people using within specific language.
In the first place. Sometimes the answer is simple, as when scientists or companies give an official name to a new discovery or technology. And some countries have language academies to make the decisions. But for the most part, official sources like dictionaries only document current usage. New words don't originate from above, but from ordinary people, spreading words that hit the right combination of useful and catchy.
Okay, good. You, Link?
New words have to be either useful or catchy to catch on. True.
True. All right. New words have to be the right combination of useful and catchy, meaning they have to be both to become widely used. Well,
Catchy. Take the word meme, coined in the 1970s by sociobiologist Richard Dawkins from the ancient Greek for imitation. He used it to describe how ideas and symbols propagate through a culture like genes through a population. With the advent of the internet, the process became directly observable in how jokes and images were popularized at lightning speed. And soon, the word came to refer to a certain kind of image. So meme not only describes how words become part of language, the word is a meme itself. And there's a word for this phenomenon of words that describe themselves. autological. Not all new words are created equal. Some stick around for millennia, some adapt to changing times, and others die off. Some relay information, some interpret it. But the way these words are created and the journey they take to become part of our speech tells us a lot about our world and how we communicate within it.
Well, we actually scored 50%. That's completely fine. All right, good. That was a good. So one thing that happens quite often, let's say to me, is because I speak a couple of languages, and sometimes when I speak with English people or when I use English, I have no problem. I don't mix other languages because I use this language every single day, most of the time. I don't know, I would say 23 hours a day, including sleeping, right? I'm going to count that as well. But when I speak some other language, and if I haven't used that language in quite some time, I actually mix it up. So sometimes I speak, let's say, yesterday, for example, I spoke with a friend of mine in Austria, and we were speaking in German. And in the middle of the sentence, my brain stopped, literally freeze. So I started speaking in English, and she started laughing. And I said, please don't laugh at me. This happens to me, especially if I speak with my friends in Macedonia, for example. Has this ever happened to you? To start speaking in one language and then continue with another language. Yuling is saying, she's nodding. Tell us, sweetie. How does it happen?
I speak with my parents in Cantonese, and sometimes I cannot remember the words, so I just say in Chinese or English.
Oh, okay. Do they understand?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. How about you, Vanessa? Has this happened to you to mix two languages because your brain just freezes?
Yes. When I talk to my teacher and I don't know how to speak in that language, so I will change to Chinese.
Okay. All right, good. Perfect. Cindy, how about you? Has this happened to you as well?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Which languages are you mixing?
English.
Okay, good. Who are you mixing this language with? Like when you speak with who?
I speak to my cousin, then I just literally talk English, then turn it to Chinese.
Yeah, okay, cool, good. Ezra, how about you?
Chinese and English.
And when is this happening? Like if you speak with friends, with your family?
My family.
Okay.
I speak them with Chinese, and then my brain freezes, and then I speak English.
Okay. Do they understand you?
No, but only my mom.
Okay. All right. Cool. How about you, June?
Occasionally, well, I will mix up with Chinese and Cantonese
Okay.
because Cantonese is derived from Chinese because most of
Mm,
my parents speak Cantonese all the time.
okay. All right. Good. How about Evelyn? Does this happen to you as well? Okay. I don't think we can hear you. Maybe your microphone is not working, or maybe you cannot hear me. I don't know. Okay, guys, that's fine. I think it's about time to give you a break, and then we're going to speak still about languages. We're going to watch a video about a person who speaks quite a lot of languages. We're going to see what is the secret about it. But once we get back from the break, we're going to have a little bit of speaking practice, and it's going to be connected with languages. So basically what you're going to have to do is create 3 questions. So you are meeting this person. This person speaks, let's say 5 languages, okay? And you want to know what is the secret. The other person needs to find the answers. In the meanwhile, if you get an idea, memorize it. And once we're back from the break, we're going to practice that, okay? Get a break for 5 minutes. You can turn off your cameras once we're back. Again, we're going to open our cameras. See you in 5 minutes. My ring light is here and it's like so hot next to it. It is so annoying.
Yeah, because like a big heat.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, because it's very moody outside, the weather is terrible today, and even my room is very dark, so I need to have this ring light in front of me. But it just keeps me so hot. It's it's
Try to
crazy.
lower the light intensity. Try to lower it, but you get better. But don't
Yeah.
not too low.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, actually, previously I had a smaller ring light and it was okay, but I feel like the light was too strong, so it's really bothering my eyes. But this one is very big, so I put it to the minimum. Yeah, it's on the minimum point as well. Okay, cool. Let's do some speaking. All right. So we're gonna do a role play. This is how we're gonna do it. So we got two students. Student A is going to be the interviewer, right? So they're going to ask questions about languages. How did they learn them? Let's make a little help. How did they learn the language? How long time, effort? These are just like points that help you to create the question. So time, effort, skills, what else should we use? Tools. Did you use any tools maybe? All right. So these will be a hint for the interviewer. Now, the second student is someone who is very smart, intelligent, they love knowledge, they speak 11 languages. And that's it. The rest of it, it's up to you what you're going to decide. So because we have 6 students of you, we can make 3 pairs. I think that should be ideal. So for example, I will create the pairs here. In the meanwhile, think about these questions. What could you possibly answer? Guys, one thing, I don't want you to be shy, okay? We're gonna be together for 14 months, basically, because officially the course will start in September. So no need for you to be shy, right? uh, by the course, I mean the book. We're going to start the book in September, but because that's going to be 12 months, plus you have July and August. So we're going to be here for a long time. No need to be shy. Actually, I would like you to do the opposite, okay? Do speak as much as you can. If you make a mistake, it's good because I want to see where you're making the mistake so I can help you, all right? No need to be shy. There is no wrong questions. If there's something wrong with it, like if there are mistakes, we're here to learn that, to improve that. So the pairs will be as follows. Let me just write it over here. So and June and Vanessa, pair 1. Pair 2 will be Ezra. So I will just write over here, Ru Ying. And are we 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah. Okay, and Cindy. Okay, in pair 3 will be Evelyn and Doodling. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to say who's going to be student A, student B. That depends on you. You decide. I will take the first pair to start, June and Vanessa. So you can decide who wants to be the interviewer, who wants to be a smart person. What's the decision? If you feel comfortable, you can, guys, the rest of you, Ezra, Cindy, you can text your message, like ask your partner, what did they want to be? So in the meanwhile, you can prepare your questions. That means for Evelyn, Yuling, Cindy, and Ezra. But June and Vanessa, they need to start right away. So let's ask Vanessa first. June, can we ask her because she's a girl, what she wants to be?
I think we already decided that she will be the interviewer and then I will be the student B.
Oh, all right. Are you ready to start? Yeah? Vanessa. Oh, come on. Don't copy me. I do this because I was surprised that you actually decided already. That's why. Let's do this. Come
Teacher,
on,
start now.
interviewer. Yes, please. Let's start.
How many languages do you speak fluently?
Currently, one only.
No, you speak 11 languages.
Oh yeah, I speak 11 languages.
What is the next question?
Teacher, I want to ask
Yes.
the question based on the answer there.
Well, you don't have a lot of answers, right? You can ask now whatever you want to. The main thing is you can ask him about, let's say, how did he learn it? How much time did it take? How did he learn it? What tools did he use? So you can use a lot. It depends. He can answer whatever he wants because he doesn't have a lot of helps. We just know that he speaks 11 languages and now it's a difficult job for him. But for you, we got the point that you need to include in the questions.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Why are you studying in multiple languages?
In school,
Okay, June, let me give you a little help. Don't keep your answers short. This is very important when it comes to speaking skills and especially when you're going to have the exam. You need to extend your answers. So she asks you, where did you study? You're going to say, oh, I studied them at school mainly, but we don't speak 11 languages at school. So I kind of needed to learn the languages on my own, or I went to course, or whatever you want to say. It's really not about the story, but it's the way how you presented the story. Does that make any sense?
crystal clear.
Yeah, awesome. All right, Vanessa, you can go on with the next question. He wouldn't be bothered to answer the same question again.
What's your favorite language?
I think my favorite language would be English because I love English very much. That's what I do for now for education.
Okay, cool.
Is English important for an individual in your country?
Can you repeat the last few words? I don't understand. I don't. Thank you.
Is English important for an individual in your country?
Well, yeah. When it comes to teachers, especially for those teachers came from other country, we have to use English to communicate. If not, then we don't know what we're talking about during conversation.
All right, cool.
That's all, teacher.
That's all. All right, cool. Cool. That was perfect. Okay, so actually, I'm not going to give you any tips. I'm going to say that after we finish with the 3 pairs. Let's ask Cindy and Ezra. What did you decide? Who's going to be the interviewer and who's going to be student B?
I'm the interviewer.
All right, cool. Let's get started.
Why do you choose to learn this language?
Can you speak again?
Okay. How do you manage to remember that many languages?
I try to speak every day, learn it every minute. Take 15 minutes a day to learn it every day.
Okay, good.
How long have you learned this language?
About 1 year.
Okay.
Do you ever feel abandoning the language you're learning right now for another one?
Yes.
Do you put much effort into learning the language?
Yes, every day I put many effort inside. I'm used to learn it from the website and search for the research of the language.
Mhm.
Have you ever struggled to pronounce the words?
Uh-huh. Can you repeat again?
Have you ever struggled to pronounce the words?
Sometimes,
Do you find the language enjoyable?
yes, I is enjoy because I can learn more inside and speak more.
Cool. That's all?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Those questions are very good. Very, very good, Ezra. I love them. Perfect. Good. Let's go with the last pair. We got Evelyn and Yulik. Who is going to be the student A? Who's going to be student B?
Maybe student A.
Student A. All right, let's go.
How many languages you learn?
I learned 11 languages.
How long you learn these languages?
It depends on the difficulty level of the language.
Okay.
Can you suggest me any skill and tools that you are using to learn the languages?
Listen more broadcasts.
Very good.
Try to learn a word a day.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh, I see. No.
No, that's it. Okay. Well, interesting questions, guys. But from what I've noticed so far, we do make like very simple mistakes. Well, they're not actually that simple, but let's see. Let me just write a couple of them. So the first thing, can you speak again? Please, please, please do not use this ever, ever, ever. I'm just gonna mark it with red. This is very bad, very wrong. Instead of saying this, you can say what?
Can you repeat that again?
Can you repeat it, please? Can you repeat that again? Okay, good. Just gonna make this
Pardon?
slightly. Pardon, you can say pardon as well. Very well. Good. If you don't hear what this person is saying, please don't say, can you speak again? Because that's very, very bad. And I feel like a lot of students are using it. I don't know, maybe this sounds like very good in your native language because that also affects on how you pronounce and how you make the sentence structure in English as well. Okay, so let's see some of the questions that we could have possibly asked, and I think some of you actually asked them. So when you have something like this, bear in mind, we're going to practice this every single class. I already prepared a lot of role plays, different scenarios. You just need to create the questions. So you just have a hint. So when you have like this, follow how is it like in my chart, like the guidelines. For example, you're asking questions about languages. So the first thing you can say, for example, is, how many languages do you speak? Okay, focus on present simple because present simple is a grammar tense that we use when we want to express general truth, something that is happening and it's like a habit, it usually doesn't changes. So how many languages do you speak? That would be the first one. Another question would have been, for example, which languages do you speak or what languages? Let's go with what? What languages do you speak? Then you can ask, for example, which language do you think it's the easiest or what? So, which language do you think it is the easiest? Easiest than the opposite. Which language do you think is the difficult or the most difficult or the hardest? And then you can ask, for example, which language did you, now we're starting past simple, we're going back to time. Which language did you learn first? Or you can ask a question like, how much time do you need or did you need, let's go with did you need to master a language? You can ask also, what level do you speak those languages in? By level, you know, in English we have, it depends which kind of chart you're going to read, but let's say within Cambridge, we have A1, A2, B1, B2, C1. Now, C2, whoever speaks C2, it comes to a level that they speak as natives. So let's say because I'm a graduated in English and German, so for me, English will be C2. I speak English as a native speaker. But people that study on its own, like they maybe did some courses, they had IELTS exam, Cambridge exam, obviously within those exams, you're going to see where your level is. This is how, for example, you are in PT, which is A2, A2 and B1, sometimes like in between, it depends. Some students are slightly stronger, some of them are slightly, they have lower level, but that's fine. So you could have asked something like that. You could have asked, for example, we say effort. Did you put a lot of effort? Ezra asked a question like that. Or do you put a lot of effort? Or you can say, do you still learn the languages? Because learning is a process. English is learning, it's not studying. You study something if you need to take an exam and then you're done, you know, like you study, I don't know, physics or geography. It's good to learn things, not to study. But especially with languages, you learn them because it's a process, right? It's not like I'm just gonna focus on this for a month or two and then I'm done. Every single day you're going to learn something new because, as we said previously, new language, new words has been invented. So they were put into dictionaries, so we have to use them. So because it's a learning process, it's a long-term process. So you can ask, do you still learn those languages? Do you think you're fluent in all of them, or are you fluent in all of them? But do not worry, I'm just giving you ideas how actually to make it a bit more easy for you. Because at some point we're gonna have to do description of a picture. So if you just see a picture and you just tell me a woman, a man, they're sitting in a park, having a snack, that's it. No, that's not it. So this is how you become fluent in English, right? When you're including a lot of questions, a lot of descriptions, like very descriptive. You need to be very descriptive to become fluent in a language. Okay, so we got effort. So you can say, what skills do you think, for example, do you think a person needs to learn a language? For example, speaking is a skill, right? It's not something that you're just going to learn. I'm going to learn how to speak. It doesn't go that way. Speaking is a skill. The more you work within a skill, the more stronger you become. Writing skills as well. If you haven't tried to write anything, how are you going to be better? It's impossible, right? So you have to keep doing it and practice and practice. You can also use, you can also ask, sorry, did you use any tools or apps to help you improve your English or any kind of language? So there are a lot of questions that you can ask. I'm just giving you ideas. Obviously, this is the first time we're doing this. So for next time, you're going to know. When it comes to student B, they can just answer, for example, I will follow these questions. How many languages do you speak? Oh, that's a tough question, actually. At the moment, I speak 11 languages. And then the student A will be, wow, that's amazing. What languages do you speak? And then you just say, oh, I don't know. I just speak this and this and this and this and this. Whatever. You're just going to invent the languages. You don't even have to say 11 because you're not prepared for them, right? Which language do you think is the easiest? Interesting question. Well, yes, I think some languages are a bit easier than others, but let's say the easiest language would be Spanish for me. Okay, which one is the most difficult one? Ooh, that's a tough one. Definitely it's Chinese. No exception. Okay, then the next question. How much time did you need to master a language? And now focus on this master a language. To master something means that you are extremely, extremely good. But who thinks they're extremely good? Even native speakers, they don't think they're extremely good. I mean, it's impossible. So they're going to say, oh, I don't know if I mastered the language. I know I can speak it, I can use it. So it depends on the language. Let's say Spanish is easy, so probably I needed like a year. But when it comes to Chinese, obviously I need to learn the symbols and stuff. It's very challenging. And I think it
Two
actually,
things you have to learn in Chinese: the handwriting, the pronunciation, and the calligraphy. Yeah.
yeah. So that's the point. Like Chinese is very difficult language. So we're going to say, I probably going to need, so far I've been learning that language for 4 years, but I still haven't mastered the language. I'm just giving ideas, right? You don't have to follow my example. What level do you speak those languages in? Ooh, I don't know. I'm actually quite good at all of them, but I wouldn't say that I speak them within the same level. Some of them I speak them with B1, some of them B2, some of them C1, some of them I actually speak them A2 or A1, whatever. Do you still learn those languages? Oh, yes, absolutely. Learning is a long-term process. Are you fluent in all of them? Well, yes, I believe so. I mean, even if I go to those countries, it will be easy for me to manage in every situation. So, yes, I would say yes. What skills do you think a person needs to learn a language? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's a talent, because, it's still 11 languages. But also, I think it's the dedication. If you really want to learn a language, you just need to dedicate yourself and you need to kind of try to compare two languages. So it will be maybe easier for you. It depends on the language though. And let's say the last question. Did you use any tools or apps? Oh, absolutely. I did. I was listening to podcasts. I was watching a lot of YouTube videos. When I watch a movie, I always put on the subtitles so I can read whatever they say. Many ideas. So this is how you should practice or get an idea in your head how you can potentially but also become fluent in every language. This is not just for English, for any language, particularly that you want to learn. So I'm just giving you any ideas. Obviously, as I said, this was the first time we were doing this. Starting from next time, I expect you to be a bit more creative. Yes, some of you made good questions, but with not that good grammar. I'm not going to say bad grammar because you kind of shifted the grammar tense. So when you ask questions like this, these are general truth, right? General fact. So what you can do is use present simple or potentially past simple. Something that happened in the past. How did you learn the language? Or if you want to use present tense, you're going to say, so how long did it take? Sorry, that would be past simple. Let's say if you want to ask in present continuous, are you still in the learning process? Like, are you still learning the language? There are many ways, but the main idea is not to mix two grammar tense in one question, and then because the interviewer will get confused. Okay, those are just like simple points that you can kind of think about it. But that was good. I really liked that. That was good. And to be fair, you were much better from the first time. Obviously, the first class, most of you were shy, but the second time today was much, much better. Okay, now question. Do you think that the person can be fluent in More than 3 languages. Fluent, like level C1 to C2.
Maybe.
Maybe. And it depends on what?
Talents, if you have the potential.
Okay. Anything else?
Where the person born.
Okay. Also, yes, the place of birth is also very important. Okay. So, let's get some ideas from this video. Not this one. All right. Teen speaks over 20 languages. Over 20 languages. Interesting to know. But do you think that this is actually possible? Because he's a
You
teen.
are a polyglot, yes.
Polyglot, okay. All right. And we can see over here Farsi, Hebrew, French, Pashto, I don't even know that language. Hindi as well. So look at his face. Where do you think he comes from?
No,
All right.
I cannot tell the accent.
Let's see. All right. I'm starting the quiz. It's going to be an interactive mode. Let's see about this person that speaks over 20 languages.
不是因为太吵了。Ну, вы говорите по-русски с семьей.
По-русскому родной, фарси, потому что я этих тоже не касаюсь.
يعني لازم ابدا الابلكيشنز للجامعه. طبعا كولومبيا بس
Sasa naweza kusema ama kuelewi lugha
17-year-old who speaks 20 languages. He's the youngest known person in the world with this capability. Okay. So at the beginning, I remember there was Chinese, there was Russian, there was Hindi. I don't know, I didn't recognize any other languages. Did you hear any different language? So I didn't hear English though. See. Okay, how old is Tim and how many languages can he speak? Vanessa.
I need to repeat the question again.
Oh, let's do that. Please read the question. I'm not going to read the question. So read the question, tell me the answer.
How old is Tim and how many languages can he speak? 17 years old and 20 languages.
Cool, thank you.
I feel that language gives you something with which you can connect to another person.
अब जो अच्छा इस किताब के बारे में यहाँ पे लिखा है ये किताब कुदरतुल्लाह शाह की खुद नविश्त है एक और
नविश्त क्या है right writer
खुद नविश्त
was written
हाँ अपने about his own life
okay खुद नविश्त
खुद नविश्त
yeah
Each language is in many ways an expression of how one society or culture thinks. I feel that when I start to speak foreign languages, a lot of times I become a bit of a different person. Perhaps I say things that I wouldn't necessarily say in English. Perhaps I'm more deferential to others. Perhaps I'm more upfront about what I say.
Okay.
Привет.
Здравствуйте, молодой человек.
Добрый день.
Добрый.
Как вас зовут?
Натан.
Натан. Это.
Тебя как зовут?
Привет. Я Тим.
Тим. Очень приятно.
Очень приятно.
Да.
Откуда вы?
Polyglot is a word that comes from two Greek roots, poly and gloss or glottis, which together means many tongues, many languages, and it just refers to anyone who speaks.
Okay, good. The second one is for Cindy.
Polyglot means tongue language.
Okay. Oh, you said tongue languages, and I pressed many times. Sorry. That's my mistake. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. One question, guys. He said, like, When you speak a different language, a foreign language, I actually become part of it, which not necessarily I'm going to say in English. Do you agree with this? Do you think that once you learn the language, you start thinking in that language, like how will native people express themselves in that particular language? Ezra, what do you think? Do you think once we learn another language that our brain automatically starts thinking in that language when we need to speak it, when we need to use it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, cool. I agree with that actually. I think that because a lot of students, when they're learning English, they say, but teacher, I want to speak like a native speaker. I want to think in English. It takes time, right? Everyone can do it, but it really, really takes a lot of time.
Refers to anyone who speaks 3 to 4 languages or more at a pretty high level.
The term hybrid.
Okay, the next one is for June.
A polyglot can speak how many languages? 3 or 4 or more.
Excellent. Good.
The term hyper-polyglot, that's the people who have a commitment to learning and maintaining a lot of languages. Most of them really put in a lot of work on it and take pride in knowing these languages.
那可以不可以养宠物？
我真的不知道。
你真的不知道？
可是如果你给我钱，你就可以。
真的吗？啊，好好好，那我得。
I'm really comfortable having a conversation on more or less any topic in French, Arabic, Hebrew, and Farsi. I think maybe a tier down would be Chinese, German, and Russian. I've done a fair amount of Latin and Greek in school, but that's obviously a different skill range for dead languages. I'm pretty comfortable speaking in languages like, Hindi or Urdu, Indonesian. With a little bit of practice, I feel, confident again in languages like Turkish, for example, or, my Italian's not so great, but I feel like I can understand it pretty well. And then there are languages that are a little bit more dormant or that I haven't studied for a while, languages such as Ojibwe or Yiddish or Wolof or Hausa, and then languages that I'm more or less a beginner in, such as Japanese and, Dutch, a couple others.
Okay, good. The next one is for Evelyn.
Which languages can he speak? Thai?
Thai? Cool. So you see what he said. He said that at certain languages he feels more comfortable, but let's say with an Italian language, he's not very good. An interesting fact is Italian is actually very easy. Italian and Spanish are one of the easiest languages to learn. But you see, he's actually, his brain, yeah, that's true. Italian and Spanish are very, very similar and very easy languages because I know how I actually learned them many years ago. And I learned them by myself. I didn't have a teacher. I was just listening to music, reading some books. I had this like a phrase book. So I was just reading the phrases and try to understand what actually it means. So Italian and Spanish are actually very easy, but his brain is more challenged to something that is more difficult because obviously he speaks all those weird languages that I've never heard in my life. And those are quite difficult, even though like he learned Chinese as well. You see, he was talking about a cat and stuff.
The languages that we speak as a family, it's really not that impressive. Ezra and I studied French for many, many years, so we can understand French people who are slowed down incredibly.
I lived in Hong Kong for a while. I studied Cantonese, but studying 20 hours a week for a summer, I didn't make anywhere near the progress that Tim made studying 20 hours a week, for example, Persian.
فکر میکنم که پردازش ترین بخشی از یاد گرفتن فارسی فهمیدن تاریخ و فرهنگ ایران است.
In North America, we mostly learn one language as we're growing up, and that language gets to be so good that it interferes with our learning other languages.
Okay, the next question is for Yuling.
Which continent does she say she mostly learns only one language? America.
Okay. You sure? She mentioned North America. It's even here on the map as well, because America is basically, it's not one continent. We have two continents, North America, sorry, at the bottom, and South America at the top. But America on its own, when people say, I will go, let's say, to the American continent, we don't necessarily know if they're going to South America or North America, which are different.
Languages. Tim Donner's talents in the American context are extremely unusual, particularly at his young age. The hyperpolyglots one tends to hear about in the world are older as a rule. So coming up with people who've started really in high school doing this, extremely rare.
Yomu. Yominai?
Yomanai.
Yomanai.
Tim, he is passionate about learning languages, and for him, this is not just a hobby, and it's basically his way of life. He actually spends most of his waking hours learning languages.
Okay, cool. The next one, Vanessa.
Tim spends most of his waking hours learning languages. True.
True. Do you remember how many hours?
Sorry, no.
No? Okay.
Right, so I find that most of the time when I'm starting a language, one of the most important things to do is have a lot of audio input. So I generally start out with any sort of series, and I'll try to just absorb the language as much as possible. I think by repeating to yourself over and over, it's a really good way to train.
Tim will watch movies. We've seen many movies in Farsi and movies in Arabic.
Watching TV shows or movies is really helpful in any kind of language learning because it exposes you to the...
Okay. June, the next one for you.
Watching TV shows or movies is really helpful, Tim says. True.
True. All right.
Because it exposes you to the normal rate of speech in a language and maybe a more colloquial register than you get in a textbook. I think it trains you also to be able to comprehend a lot more. You know, I find that when I start a new language and I start watching TV in it, after I'm comfortable enough, maybe I'll understand 4 or 5 words out of 10. And then that really helps because that bleeds over into conversation. So I think watching TV is really the basis of learning in a lot of ways. Plus it's fun.
Bu dilden hoşlanıyorum çünkü ben de Farsça ve Arapça.
I think the internet has been absolutely crucial, for me for learning languages. Anytime I have a new language, I try to post a video.
Okay, cool. Ezra?
I think the
should we watch it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
Yes, please.
I think the internet has been absolutely crucial, for me for learning languages. Anytime I have a new language, I try to post a video.
I think the internet has been absolutely crucial for me learning languages.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Very well, thank you.
Try to post a video of me speaking it with someone or just me delivering some kind of monologue to the camera. And the responses I get are really helpful. They show me, which direction I should go in, what I have to work on still, what I've done well, and that's fantastic. I think the great thing about living in New York is that you really can practice any language you want. This is...
Okay, Cindy, where does Tim live?
New York.
New York, yeah, cool. New York. Cool.
Language you want. This is arguably the most linguistically diverse spot on Earth.
Est-ce que vos parents aussi parlent?
Mais non, malheureusement, non. Et ils ont pris le français à l'école, mais non, ils parlent seulement anglais.
Vous êtes un génie, monsieur.
C'est pas vrai.
Oui, c'est ça. Parlant. Parler finlandais. Ce pouvoir communiquer avec toute cette langue. Oh mon Dieu, c'est fantastique.
Merci. For me, there are plenty of things that are fascinating about languages. Primarily, it's the fact that, I was a bit of a history nerd. You can see in any language the entire history of a people and its interactions with others. For a while, when I was around 12 and 13, I had a very big interest in learning about the Middle East, especially the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So I thought that by learning a language, I might be able to break through the wall that's been built around it. A little bit after my bar mitzvah, when I was 13, I started to teach myself Hebrew.
Let's ask Evelyn. Hebrew. When did he start learning Hebrew?
Thirteen.
13? Let's see. Well done. Cool.
השפה הראשונה שלמדתי אחרי אנגלית, אני התחלתי ללמוד לפני שנה וחצי.
After I learned Hebrew, I thought that, you know, I maybe would be quite successful in teaching myself languages. So after that, I decided to try Arabic to get the other half of the equation in the history of the Middle East.
بس يعني كمان كيف العلاقات بين المسيحيين والمسلمين في مصر دلوقتي؟
ما كانش كويس، مش كويس، عامة مش كويس.
وحتى اليوم. I feel that by studying languages, by looking at their development, by looking at what's old and what's new, you gain a greater appreciation for society's values and for just its entire history. It's something that's a little bit hard to communicate and may sound a bit disingenuous, but that's sort of the breakthrough that I had in studying it. There's this idea that seems to circulate, which is completely false, that Americans don't like learning about other cultures, Americans don't like learning foreign languages.
Alors, Manuel, c'était vachement un plaisir de faire votre connaissance.
Moi aussi, monsieur.
I hope that, you know, I can do my part to disprove that.
Et j'espère que vous parlez plusieurs mots, d'addition de plusieurs langues.
Exactement. Alors, la langue prochaine, le créole.
Oh, ben oui.
Au revoir.
Au revoir, monsieur.
I think if you raise people with other languages, you open them up to foreign cultures, to foreign ideas. And again, in the future, you know, in a world that's increasingly globalized, you give them, you know, a solid opportunity for more connections as they grow older. There's a quote from Nelson Mandela, which goes something like, if you talk to a man in his second language, you're talking to his brain. If you talk to him in his mother language, you're talking to his heart.
Okay, good. Let's see this quote from Nelson Mandela. Let's ask June.
Tim quotes Nelson Mandela: if you talk to a man in his second language, you are talking to his brain. If you talk to him in his mother language, you're talking to his I think I'm certain about the answer.
Maybe it's a heart?
I guess.
Yeah, let's see. So, if you talk to a man in his second language, you're talking to his brain. What do we think about this quote? Why does it connected with the brain? If you're talking with his second language. Who wants to share their ideas? June says no idea. Ezra, what do you think?
Can you repeat that again?
So the first part of the quote, it says, if you talk to a man in his second language, you're talking to his brain. What does this mean? What do you think? How do you get this sentence? How do you understand this sentence, this quote? So if you talk to a man in his second language, you're talking to his brain. If you talk to him in his mother language, you're talking to his heart. Let's explain. So what this actually means is, if one person speaks two languages, the first language is the native language, is the language that this person has been raised, born, studied all their life. So they don't even actually have to think what they're going to say, right? It just comes from you, literally comes from you. But when you need to talk in the second language, and maybe you don't speak the second language on the same level as your native language. So, you know, you're a bit challenged. So you need to use your brain to connect the words, the grammar, everything. So that's what actually what he's trying to say. If you talk to a man in his second language, you're talking to his brain, because what he's trying to do is first he needs to think, he needs to translate the meaning of the question or whatever he needs to say in his brain. Then he needs to create a sentence. He needs to find a suitable answer for it. So basically his brain is challenged. But when you speak within your language, you don't even think what you're going to say. Like if somebody's checking up on you after 5 minutes, most likely you already forgot what you were saying. Do you agree with this quote from Nelson Mandela? Does it make sense? Yeah? Yeah, perfect. Cool. Cool, cool. All right.
मेहनत करते रहें इंशाल्लाह आप बहुत आगे बढ़ेंगे और मुझे बहुत उम्मीद है तुमसे और मैं बहुत खुश हूँ इस लैंग्वेज को चुना है और अल्लाह तुम्हें कामयाब खुदा हाफिज थैंक यू वेरी मच
I'm Tim وانتم بتتفرجوا على Thinker. انتم مستقلين Thinker. على ون Thinker och nagah ni kon ni men känns jag kan Thinker. All
right, so we were good. We actually did quite a lot of points over here. Cool. So, what do you think is the most important thing that you need to do if you want to learn a language?
The word structure, how it works, how the mechanics work. It's basically, for my opinion, how I want to learn the language.
Have fun and put in lots of efforts.
Perfect. You have fun and put a lot of efforts. Good. Vanessa, what do you think? What could you possibly do?
Don't give up.
Don't give up. Okay. So you need to be consistent. To be consistent means you need to do this quite regularly. So when you learn a language, not necessarily, let's say for you, you have a class once a week, right? But because this is a course, this is not something from your school, but because you also probably you have English classes from school as well. So you need to learn with that as well. Also, on the other hand, you also listening to music, watching American movies. So you need to be consistent. It depends on your goal though. If you need to learn the language, the sooner the better. Obviously, you need to be more consistent and regular. Do things on a daily basis. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Vanessa. Evelyn, what do you think? What do you need to do to improve the knowledge of any language for that matter?
Learn more and
Okay. And how can you do that?
like watching movies, learn.
Okay, good. Watching movies, maybe listening to podcasts, because each thing that you're going to do, it's going to help you in a different level, and you know, it's going to be a different help. If you're listening to podcasts, obviously you're listening, so you're going to improve your listening skills, right? Because your ears will be focused, so you're going to practice pretty much pronunciation. You're going to pick up the phrases, how they're creating the sentence, which is very important. So that actually is going to help you to learn how to build the sentence. How is the structure of the sentence in that particular language? Okay, that's good. Cindy, what do you think?
Enjoy it. Enjoy learning a language.
Sorry, sweetie, I didn't hear that. I think it's your connection or something.
Enjoy.
To enjoy the learning process. Okay, cool. So that also makes sense, because if you want to learn a language, you need to find something that it's fun for you. Because if I say, okay, now you have to read this book by next Thursday, you have to read it if you want to speak English. But you're like, oh, I don't want to read books. Like, that's not my thing. It's not going to be enjoyable, right? You're just going to come once or twice to the class and then you're going to say, goodbye, I'm not coming back because I don't like reading books and you're making me reading books. So you have to find something that is fun and interesting for you. Maybe that's songs, because let's say a lot of languages that I learned them by songs. I just find a song that I like, listen to it a couple of times. You can also do this as well, without finding the lyrics of the song. And I just focus on listening, just to see what are they saying, how they saying it. Oh, okay. And then when I find the lyrics of the song, most likely it's not what I'm thinking that they were saying. It's completely different. That's because when we try to say a couple of words together, they actually sound differently. So that's not confusing. That actually helps a lot for you to understand that you need to practice speaking, right? So you need to find something that it's enjoyable. Either it's going to be music, or if you like to read books, or also another thing that I would say is try to find puzzle book. So for example, something like this, I'll try to show you in the camera. So something like, oh, you're not gonna see it. So like search words, right? You have the words on the side over here. You have to search them over here. That also, if I come a bit closer, yeah, like this. So basically these books or this kind of paperworks on internet, there are a lot of them. What is the good thing about it? So for example, on the side I have the meaning, not the meaning, sorry, I have the words. For example, blazing. If I have no idea what is blazing, first I'm going to find that over here. Then automatically I want to know, what does this word mean, right? So I'm going to search for it. So this kind of exercises or paperwork, it's very useful to improve your vocabulary. Maybe next class I will give you a couple of links, because I have to recheck them if they're actually suitable for you, so you can just practice with them. If you want to change your level from, let's say, A1 to A2, one thing is grammar, but grammar is very easy because it's just a rule and you follow the rule. The second thing and the most important thing is vocabulary. You need to learn new words. If you speak 50 words, how are you going to become fluent? That's impossible. So you need to engage yourself in learning new words, just learning, invest your time in learning words. If you learn 5 words a week, hey, that's great. You know, 5 new words every week, that's a massive success. So something like that could also help you a lot. Yu Ling, what do you think? How can a person improve their language skills? What can they do?
Learn regularly.
Good. So if you engage yourself in learning every day, let's say with me, you have every Thursday, but let's say every Thursday, we're just gonna include something different. But if you have, also one thing that I want to say, always have a notebook. Please, in a notebook, write the new words, write the new rules. Don't put them on a piece of paper, because you're gonna throw the paper away and then again, you're not gonna know what you're doing, okay? Very important, keep all your notes in one notebook, all right? Cool. Do you have any questions, guys? Something that you would like to ask, maybe?
No.
No? Cool. Perfect.
Other than English, what other subject do you teach other than English? Or you
I
teach?
just teach English because I graduated in English. I also graduated in German, but I don't teach German. I just focus on English because I invested pretty much all my working experience in teaching English. Kids, adults, teenagers, all of that jazz over there.
You teach math?
No, I'm not good at math. And I think like math is different from where I used to study and what students are studying now, I guess. Awesome, guys. Cool. It was a pleasure working with you today. Second class, we're getting better. I like that. Next week, I'm going to include something about astrology. And also we're going to have some quizzes as well. But let's wait until next week. Thank you so much for today. You've been amazing. I will see you next Thursday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, guys. See
Bye.
you.
Thanks, teacher.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.